By now, certainly you have heard that Bill Belichick is not a first-ballot Hall of Famer, and everyone has joined in saying that is absolutely ridiculous.
I think this is one of the most egregious things that we've seen in sports. I'm embarrassed for the industry, for any scribe, for any reporter.
Problem is, there's a lot of stupidity between those voters, because how does the greatest, at least arguably the greatest coach in the history of the sport not get in first ballot?
8 Super Bowl rings, 6 as head coach, more playoff wins than any coach in NFL history, the architect of the greatest dynasty in professional football, and yet not a first-ballot Hall of Famer. If that doesn't make your blood boil, you're not paying attention.
Bill Belichick, the 8-time Super Bowl winning head coach, is not a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
Ow!
Bill Belichick, the man who turned a 6th-round quarterback into the GOAT, who dominated the NFL for 2 decades, who literally wrote the book on modern defensive strategy, was just denied entry into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first ballot. 40 votes, that's all he needed out of 50. He didn't get them. And when the smoke cleared and the details started leaking out, the truth was even more disgusting than anyone imagined. This isn't just a bad decision. This is revenge. This is pettiness. This is old men with grudges using their Hall of Fame votes like weapons to settle scores from battles they lost 20 years ago.
Dictate legacy. These votes dictate greatness. These votes dictate money. Josh Allen made $1 million for being MVP 2 years ago. These votes dictate so much that you can't have imbeciles.
Let's talk numbers first, because the numbers don't lie, even when voters do. Bill Belichick, 6 Super Bowl championships, 9 AFC championships, 31 playoff victories, the most in NFL history. 3rd all-time in regular season wins, 2nd in combined wins. Oh, and let's not forget, he won 2 more Super Bowls as the defensive coordinator for the New York Giants, orchestrating game plans that stopped the greatest offenses of their era. This man didn't just coach football, he changed football. Every defensive coordinator in the NFL today is running concepts Belichick either invented or perfected. The entire Patriots coaching tree, Brian Flores, Matt Patricia, Josh McDaniels, Bill O'Brien, they're all running Belichick's system.
You can't even tell the story of the National Football League without bringing up Bill Belichick.
You literally cannot tell the story of modern football without dedicating entire chapters to this man. The 2007 undefeated regular season, the dynasty years with Brady, the defensive masterclass against the Rams in Super Bowl 36, the 28-3 comeback, the culture of excellence that turned undrafted free agents into Pro Bowlers. And 50 voters looked at all of that and said, nah. So what happened? How does the most qualified coach in the history of professional sports not get voted in unanimously on the first ballot? 2 words, Bill Polian. According to a bombshell ESPN report from Seth Wickersham and Don Van Natta Jr., during the Hall of Fame deliberations 2 weeks ago, someone brought up Spygate and Deflategate, and that someone? Former Colts GM Bill Polian, a man who spent years getting demolished by Belichick's Patriots, watching his Peyton Manning-led teams lose in the playoffs over and over and over again. Polian reportedly told voters that Belichick should wait a year as penance for Spygate. Penance? Like this is some kind of moral judgment, like the Hall of Fame is church and Polian is the priest deciding who sinned too much to get in.
He was a competitor to Bill Belichick when he was with the Colts. So he probably feels a certain type of way. Bill Polian should not be allowed to vote anymore.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really shady. When Sports Illustrated reached out to Polian about the report, he called it a categorical lie. He said he voted for Belichick. Case closed, right? Wrong, because when Don Van Natta followed up, Polian changed his story. Suddenly, he couldn't remember who he voted for. He was 95% sure he voted for a coach, maybe L.C. Greenwood, but gosh darn it, his memory just isn't what it used to be.
That he no longer can recall if he voted for Belichick or not.
He could not remember with 100% certainty if he voted for Belichick. This vote happened 2 weeks ago. Not 2 years, not 2 decades, 2 weeks ago. And you're telling us you don't remember if you voted for the greatest coach in NFL history? This is the same Bill Polian, by the way, who said Lamar Jackson, a Heisman Trophy winner, should switch to wide receiver before the draft. The same Bill Polian who's 83 years old and apparently can't remember what he ate for breakfast, let alone how he voted on the most important Hall of Fame decision in years.
He was a competitor to Bill Belichick when he was with the Colts.
Let's be crystal clear about something. This isn't about football integrity. This is about grudges. Bill Polian's Colts teams got dominated by Belichick's Patriots in the 2000s. And you know what Polian did? He went to the NFL Competition Committee and helped change the rules. The tie law rule, which made it harder for defensive backs to be physical with receivers, came directly from Polian's complaints about how the Patriots were playing defense. He couldn't beat Belichick on the field, so he changed the rules. And when that still didn't work, he used his Hall of Fame vote to get one final shot in. Pathetic. But let's address the elephant in the room, Spygate and Deflategate, because that's the excuse hiding behind all of this. Yes, the Patriots got caught videotaping defensive signals in 2007. Yes, it violated NFL rules. Yes, Belichick got fined $500,000, the largest coaching fine in NFL history at the time, and the Patriots lost a first-round pick. But here's what the haters keep forgetting. Belichick won 3 Super Bowls before Spygate happened. 2001, 2003, 2004. All clean. And then he won 3 more Super Bowls after, 2014, 2016, 2018.
Belichick only had 1 chip, and the 1 chip was the Spygate year. Bet. If Belichick only had 2 chips, and the 2 chips were Spygate year and Deflategate year.
6 championships that have nothing to do with videotaping signals. And oh, by the way, Jimmy Johnson, Hall of Fame coach himself, admitted that multiple teams tried the same thing back in the day. The Chiefs tried it, the Cowboys explored it. Howard Mudd, who later coached for Tony Dungy, another Hall of Fame voter, literally gave Johnson the idea. The difference? Belichick was the best at it. And when you're the best, everyone wants to tear you down. Deflategate? Even worse, the NFL spent millions of dollars investigating whether footballs were deflated in a playoff game. Scientists got involved. The ideal gas law became a national debate. And at the end of all that, no definitive proof. None. Just speculation, assumptions, and a league office desperate to punish the Patriots for being too dominant. Tom Brady got suspended 4 games for generally being aware of something that might not even have happened. And voters are using that to keep Belichick out of the Hall of Fame?
I'm like the 3 Super Bowls before Spygate and the 3 Super Bowls after. How about that as an argument?
Here's the reality nobody wants to say out loud. Bill Belichick was mean to reporters. He gave terrible press conferences. He was dismissive, gruff, and had zero interest in being media-friendly. And a lot of Hall of Fame voters, they're media members, writers, broadcasters, people who got embarrassed by Belichick's one-word answers and condescending stares for 20 years. So when they got the chance to punch back, they took it.
Did you not vote him in because he was mean to you in press conferences? And you're holding a grudge that he was mean to you. He didn't give you the answer you wanted.
That's not journalism. That's not protecting the integrity of the Hall of Fame. That's revenge dressed up as moral authority. And the worst part, it's not just Belichick who gets hurt by this, because there's only 1 coaching spot available per year. Other deserving coaches now have to wait. Tom Coughlin has to wait. 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. Shanahan has to wait. Mike Holmgren has to wait. All because a broken system allowed personal grudges to override objective greatness. But here's the terrifying question everyone is asking now. If they did this to Belichick, what about Tom Brady? Brady becomes eligible in a few years, and he was part of both scandals. Spygate happened on his watch. Deflategate was literally named after him. If voters are using those to reason to punish Belichick, what's stopping them from doing the same thing to the greatest quarterback who ever lived?
Used the Spygate, Deflategate as part of this. Tom Brady was on those teams. Randy Moss was on those teams. Rob Gronkowski was on those teams. Mike Vrabel was on those teams. There's a couple of.
That's a
Teddy
good list.
Bruschi was on
We
those
get it.
teams.
What about Gronk? What about Randy Moss? What about Richard Seymour, Ty Law, Rodney Harrison? All Patriots who are already in the Hall of Fame despite being part of those same teams. The hypocrisy is staggering, and Tom Brady himself, he couldn't believe it.
I don't understand it. I mean, I was with them every day. If he's not a first-ballot Hall of Famer, there's really no coach that should ever be a first-ballot Hall of Famer, which is completely ridiculous because people deserve it, and he's incredible. There's no coach I'd ever want to play for. I'd rather play for. If I'm picking one coach to go out there to win a Super Bowl, give me one season, I'm taking Bill Belichick. So that's enough said.
The GOAT recognizing the GOAT coach, and 50 voters said, nah, we know better. The fallout has been massive. Patrick Mahomes called it insane. J.J. Watt said he can't believe what he's reading. LeBron James, from a completely different sport, weighed in calling it egregious and disrespectful. Jimmy Johnson said the voters who denied Belichick are small and jealous.
Belichick, there's no one that's left a legacy on the game the way Bill Belichick has. The reason that there are so many players from the New England Patriots teams that are in the Hall of Fame right now is because of Bill Belichick, whether it's Ty Law, Richard Seymour, Rodney Harrison should be. Obviously, Tom Brady is going to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
And they're all right, because this isn't just about one vote. This is about the credibility of the entire Hall of Fame. If Bill Belichick isn't a first-ballot Hall of Famer, then what even is the standard anymore? Who does deserve it? Don Shula got in on the first ballot, Tom Landry got in on the first ballot, Chuck Noll got in on the first ballot, and none of them, with all due respect to their legendary careers, have a resume that matches Belichick's. The Hall of Fame released a carefully worded statement acknowledging the passionate reaction and promising to investigate if any bylaws were violated. But that's corporate speak for "we messed up and we're scrambling to do damage control."
It's not a privilege to be associated with you today. It's an abject embarrassment.
Stephen A. is absolutely right. The Hall of Fame just told the world that personal feelings matter more than championships, that grudges outweigh greatness, that if you're not nice to the right people, your accomplishments don't count. That's not a Hall of Fame, that's high school. One voter from the Kansas City Star actually came forward and admitted he didn't vote for Belichick, not because Bill didn't deserve it, but because he assumed other people would vote for him. So he used his vote on senior candidates who might not get another chance.
They've had ample opportunities to get in, it didn't happen. So what is the issue as it pertains to Bill Belichick?
That's not how voting works. You don't gamble with your vote assuming other people will do the right thing. You vote based on merit. And on merit, there's nobody more qualified than Bill Belichick. The system is broken, the voters are compromised, and the Hall of Fame's reputation, it just took a hit it may never recover from.
Not putting him in, then either take their vote away or rectify the situation.
Will Belichick get in next year? Probably. Will his legacy be affected? Not even slightly. 6 rings speak louder than 50 bitter voters ever could. But the stain on the Hall of Fame, that's permanent. Because they had one job, recognize greatness, and they let personal feelings, petty jealousies, and ancient beefs get in the way. Bill Belichick is a first-ballot Hall of Famer. The only people who don't understand that are the 11 voters who said no, and they should be ashamed.
Anybody that did not vote for Bill Belichick should be stripped. They should never be able to vote again.
That's an
They
incredible
should
take.
never be able to vote again.
The greatest coach in NFL history deserved better. The fans deserved better. And the Hall of Fame, congratulations. It just lost all credibility.